Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody's doing good. I hope everybody's staying safe out there, getting stuff done on the project cars, everything that we try to get done, as best we can right now. Today I wanted to make a quick little video kind of talking about something I really think is a really cool upcoming kit that's available for the Mazda Miata chassis platform, however you want to look at it. And it's been cycling around the internet a little bit, at least over the last couple of weeks. So I think it's something that's, going to be a pretty good option for a lot of people once the initial kits go out and build a little bit more demand. But I really don't want to spend too much time just kind of chit-chatting over it. I'm going to kind of get into this fairly quickly. But I do want to remind you guys to make sure you do like and subscribe. It does help out a bunch. I know what you guys are after as far as what you want to see, what kind of stuff you want me to do. So please feel free to like and subscribe and comment down below as well. So with that said, let's get into it. So what this kit is, it's based on the NA or NB Miata chassis platform. It specifically mentions like an NB Miata, but if you know anything about the Miatas, they pretty well interchange back and forth with almost no restrictions. But this one is built to resemble, or basically to function as a 1930s Alfa Romeo race car. It's an open wheel car, as you can see in the picture right here. It does have knockoff hubs on it. It's got the side exhaust. It's got a lot of really cool stuff on it, and it is based around the Mazda Miata, as I said. Now, what you're doing with this isn't that you're actually going to be using the Miata's chassis. It looks like from the pictures that I'll cycle through here, all you're really going to be using is the Miata subframes, and then some of the basic components like the steering rack, I'm assuming, is going to go through with it on the subframes. Most of the wear items like tie rods, ball joints, the upper and lower control arms, all that stuff is probably going to transfer over. And let me see if I can cycle through some of the other pictures here, kind of to showcase a little bit of, which are Mazda parts, which are parts of the kit. So let me click through right now. So for example, right here, this is one of the pictures that's pretty telling. Ooh, that's pretty telling of the kind of the way the kit is put together and intended to function. So as you can see right here, you do have the big fake drums to kind of mimic what the old cars of the 30s would look like as far as their brake setups, covering up a Willwood caliper set, or rotor and caliper set for a Miata. And then right here, it looks like it's going to still use standard Miata hubs, because right here, it looks like the flange for the knockoff wheels is just bolted onto the hub. You can probably hear the cat back there. Hopefully you can get a good look at him. He's joining me as well for this. And then I keep trying to scroll like that. I can't do that. But what you can also see is you got the exhaust running back here, because this is the rear wheel setup. And then you've got down here, it's hard to tell for sure. I don't know if these are going to have be the same length as the Mazda control arms, because it looks like this might be a tubular unit. And then this coilover right here, it's hard to know if they've just got a shock upside down as far as like a standard Miata style coilover, or if they've just gone with a standard coilover shock setup that only has the I don't know, I guess whatever you want to call those things, basically the bottom shock body on a standard Miata. I don't know how to describe it other than that. They've got those in there as well. So those are probably going to be bespoke to the kit and possibly the control arms as well, but you can't really see from this picture to know for sure. Let's see, what are some of the other pictures? So if I go to this one right here, you can actually see the chassis of it pretty well. Let me zoom in a little bit. Let me knock out that ad. Stop seeing this ad. Okay, thank you. So here's what we're looking at for this. If I can get Google to go away. Maybe not. There it is. Okay. So anyway, if you can look past the ad right here, we do have the chassis. It's a full tubular chassis to the car, so everything is just going to be bolting up to this. It's not abundantly obvious whether this chassis is going to literally take the Miata subframe up to it, or you're just going to bolt the standard subframes up to the car, or if it's going to always bolt straight to the chassis. My guess is it would just be bolted straight to the chassis for simplicity's sake and for weight saving's sake. But that's still to be determined for sure. It looks like we've got a drive shaft right here, and probably a mount of some sort. I can't tell exactly what. It looks like that's a steering rack right there, but I don't know if that's a transmission mount or what they've got for this. It's hard to know just because there aren't a whole lot of kits or details out there on the kit. Actually, I don't know what that is. To be absolutely honest, I don't know what that is. But you see you've got other things such as like the dash plate right here, which is going to take a standard Miata cluster behind it, but you're going to get a nice metal finished cluster there to take a look at and, to be what you look at whenever you're driving the car. So it is going to take the NA and the NB, the 1.6 or the 1.8 four-cylinder engine as well as a transmission, and I'd be really surprised if it didn't take the differential along with it, because with these kits, what it's saying that you need to do is just basically have a donor Miata with you, because this kit is apparently going to cost about $11,000 in America, and then you're just going to have supply your own Miata to cut up and salvage for parts to put one of these together. So what you're really going to be looking at is a 1.8 most likely up here, 5 or 6 speed. I'm sure they're going to have, I don't know actually if you need a different drive shaft for the 5-speed or 6-speed. I don't know. I'm sure you could probably get either one, or you can get this fabricated to fit whatever your needs are. And then you got your diff in the back that you take from the Miata. Then, like I said, I'm pretty sure it's going to take the Mazda steering components. All that stuff's probably going to transfer over. You're probably going to be looking at, as far as the the braking hardware, that's probably all going to transfer over, probably all bespoke lines. But I'd imagine you're going to be able to use the same parts or just any aftermarket brake system, whichever, whatever fits your needs the best. Those will surely be options. One of the things I was personally wondering about with this kit is what they're going to do as far as the fuel. I don't know if it'd make any sense to make the kit fit a standard Miata gas tank, or if they would just go for a standard fuel cell and go that way. I don't really know which would be cheaper or more efficient to use as far as in design of the kit, but that's to be seen, because there's still fairly limited details on this kit overall. So, as you can see, this is a really cool kit for anybody that's wanting to build a car. Because one of the things I think I might have mentioned on the channel before, I think is going to be the next big thing as far as with cars is chassis swapping cars. Just because it's getting a lot easier with newer technology to do so. I don't know about reliably, but at least on a scale, with like 3D modeling and stuff like that, you can do a lot more design work with less fab time and trial and error, I would think. So I think this is really where the next kind of big push is going to be as far as like both the kit cars and just people doing custom stuff with their own cars. That's just what I think. So this, I think, is really going to be a good option for a lot of people. One thing that people mentioned, they said this isn't street legal, which isn't surprising. It doesn't have any headlights, doesn't have any turn signals, brake lights, any of that stuff on it. But I feel like it couldn't be that hard to do, given that, you just hook up headlights to it, wire in turn signals, brake lights. You might have to run a switch on the dash rather than an actual turn stalk. Maybe you're going to be able to. I don't know. There's not a lot of details out there yet. People are saying these aren't street legal and there's no way to register them. The laws in every state, country are going to be different. I've seen plenty of like dune buggy, sand rail things flying around on roads around me, and it's, they're not really cars at this point. They're just home built vehicles, and those are managed to get license plates and drive around. So I imagine there's gonna be a workaround that's fairly easy to do that. You probably have to create your own VIN number and accommodate headlights, turn signals, tail lights, all that kind of stuff. But then you should be able to drive on the street, because for say $11,000 and $2,500 in parts, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, at least not for me, to have a track-only car at that point. You're about $13,000, and you'll probably end up being closer to like 15, 16 when everything's said and done with the car. But it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to me to spend that kind of money and then only be able to drive it to the track, because then you've got to have some way to get it to a track to enjoy the car, versus, throwing some headlights on it and just drive on the street and enjoy it that way. Because then you're going to get a lot more use out of the car. Because it's not like it's some incredibly exotic, high-strung motor that's so risky to run. You only want to use it for bespoke events. It's a Miata underneath. It's going to run very well, as long as you do the basic maintenance to it. So it's going to be something you want to use often. Because it's definitely a fun car just by looking at it to experience. You wouldn't want to just have it relegated to the track only duty. So I think it's something that's going to be fairly easy to get onto the road. Just a little playing with the law to the within the law, playing with the in the spirit of the law, I suppose is the best way to look at it. But I do think this is going to be a really cool kit. I'm glad somebody is taking the initiative to produce something like this for the community, because I think this is, like I said, I think chassis swaps are going to be a big thing. And as cars get, or at least new cars, kind of get more and more computerized and kind of, homogenous as far as one brand to the next, as far as how it looks and performs and everything, I think it's going to be really important for enthusiasts to find ways to kind of work around that, be it either, building an old car or, I don't know what they're really going to be able to do going forward with new cars, just because it's still to be seen what they'll do. But kit cars, I think, is something that's going to come back in a pretty strong force, because it's, completely, the antithesis to what a new car is nowadays, because it's home built, they're going to be raw, because you're not going to have the same kind of features and everything to a new car as you would, or a kit car to a new car. So I think these are going to get even more and more popular. So I'm hoping with this kit, like I said, it's going to be about $11,000 for the kit itself, and then you got to buy the Miata with it. I'd be really surprised if the price went up over time. I don't know that it couldn't if they offered new variants of the kit, or if people were just willing to pay more and more for it. That might raise the price that way. But we'll see. That's ultimately where it is. I wouldn't expect it to go up. I would think it would come down as they sell more of the kits and can produce them for a little bit less. I think a lot of the brunt of the work in the kit is probably just putting the chassis together more so than anything else, if the whole point of the kit is to use Mazda parts, which are already readily available. So I think it's going to come down in price. I don't know how much or on what timeline it's going to happen, but I think it's certainly a car or a kit that is going to become more readily available for people, and for people to enjoy, because this is what people are going to be looking for as far as a driving experience going forward, because new cars aren't going to be able to offer them in the same way that this can. So I'm really excited to see it, and that's kind of what my thoughts are on it. Hopefully I've kind of informed you guys. If you didn't know this thing was coming out, I'll kind of click through a couple of the other pictures real quick, so you can get a look at it. Maybe drum up a little bit of interest among some of you who got a little more money than me to float around on something like this. But yeah, I think this is a really cool kit. I'm glad to see this kind of stuff coming out. It's a really testament to enthusiasts, as well as to modern production techniques and just ingenuity in using stuff that's readily available to make it happen for us. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Please leave your comments down below. I'm curious what you guys think about this car, this new kit that's coming out. Let me know. I'm super interested in knowing. As well, please like and subscribe. I've got more stuff coming. I've got a few other kind of little things like this when the weather's not super great. It's really cold outside today. But just stuff so that I can put out content for you guys and kind of see what you guys are interested in. So please feel free, like, subscribe, comment, share it, do all that stuff. Hope you guys have a great day. Stay safe out there. Have fun. All that stuff. Thank you. Take it easy.